welcome to Billy Ho Sports. The post trial for the Haskell came out. Saturday's entries released Tuesday night. I'm deep diving into the field already, getting a strategy video ready for that particular race. We are going to draw split the pot number one on this video today. So you're going to want to stick around because you never know when I'm going to spin the wheel. This video is going to cover the United Nations, the big grade 2 turf race on the Saturday card. Check out the preview video for the Haskell before, and that was before post draw. But if you want to get an idea on all the nominations before I get into some real betting, give that one a look. So we're going to go over a really good field in this race. Check the description for details on how the split the pot draw works. But basically, if you are subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment, your name will go into the draw for one of these. And you also have to hit that like button too. And I also ask, just use that hashtag BHS. Just helps promote the channel. I appreciate that very much. So in the comments section, give me your pick to win this race. And we're going to jump right into past performances and take a look. Okay, a little bit about Monmouth Park before we get started. This is going to be 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf, 11 furlongs, and they come out of this chute right here, this little half chute that comes down around for the first turn there, and then they go all the way back around to the finish. So it's a pretty lengthy race. So coming out of that chute, a little bit different. The turf course is technically a 7 furlong oval with a diagonal chute. Like I said, it's 80 feet wide. They have tight turns and a short stretch. Horses usually with tactical speed and like to and don't mind being in close quarters can usually succeed here. We'll start with number 1, Corruption. That is the horse that opted out of the Grade 1 Diana to go to this race. Finished 4th in the Manhattan. It was a pretty good race. Broke a little bit slow and then just kind of stayed consistent across the board here, but really just was no match for deterministic integration and Farbridge. But there's really no shame in that because those 3 horses are eons better than any horse that's in this race. Mark Casse is no stranger to winning this dude. Mark Casse, Chad Brown, and Mike Maker. Mike Maker doesn't have any entries, but Brown obviously does. But Casse and Brown are your 2 top trainers that just really just nail this race almost every year. So they do get a little bit of an advantage from experience. So Javier Castellano will ride. And really good effort, like down here against Farbridge. And I went over this, I think it was the Belmont Cup was the race that he scratched out of because of the pulled off the turf and the terrible conditions at Saratoga. So wise move from Mark Casse, who's no fool. So this one's going to definitely be a contender coming from the inside post. I still need to work on how that affects this shoot. It seems like it would be okay going around. I don't think there doesn't seem to be any inside post positions that seem bad in this situation. More of the outside posts maybe taking a chance of getting caught wide. But there is enough time to go down that chute, and it's just a slight little turn. So we'll move on to Tawnyport. This is a horse, hint, hint, wink, wink, that I'll have interest in. Has a couple of third place finishes over the Monmouth turf. One was in this race last year. But the only knock on Tawnyport is that just 1 lifetime win on the turf. So I will look at this horse as a value play or a long shot. I'm hoping for more of a long shot. I'm hoping to see this horse get to be like 25-1 or 30-1 or something, because I think he can compete. I think he can run well. The Turf Cup, all these races right here where he was neck, third, right here in this little run last year, this time, that was back-to-back races at Monmouth. The Monmouth Grade 3 and the United Nations were third by a neck. It was very close to Fort Washington Running Bee, and obviously Get Smoke and Grand Sonata went 1-2 last year. So I think if he returns to that form, could be a threat to win this race. Redistricting is going to be very tough not to be the key horse. I keep looking and trying to. I know he's going to be the favorite. It's Chad Brown. It's Flavian Pratt. What can you say? Pratt's already padding his stats at Monmouth. He's got 6 mounts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third already in the meet at a track he doesn't even normally ride at. So the last race was the Monmouth Cup, or Monmouth listed for 150K with this horse. He just went right out and got her done. Going straight across. This horse is pretty versatile, but he saw no need to screw around with these other suckers, so he just took the lead and then just went all the way. pulling away by 5. It was only going a mile and an eighth, but with 8.2 average wind distance and 11.0 on the dam side, that's can run all day. Kingman, I mean, that's just the breeding is there. So the lengthy distance is not a big deal at all. Even though you don't really see a whole lot of it going this way, it's kind of like the first time Chad Brown's going to let this sucker stretch out a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I think he's going to be tough to beat. Limited liability could be a really good competitor as well. Shown more class with her string of good finishes and graded stakes. Nearly won the Grade 2 Elkhorn. Seems better at longer distances. Like you literally ran at Kentucky Downs 2 in a 16th right there, and he's run a mile and a half for a lot of these recent races. So the Red Smith goes back to last year, which was a second place finish. I went and rewatched that race because Rebel Red was in it, and I wanted to see how that race went down. And it was a good race. I'll get to it when we discuss Rebel Red in a minute. But limited liability, Frankie Dettori, even though his stats don't look great on the turf, he's like falling off the map for some reason. He's still a hell of a good turf rider. And so I don't have any problem backing him in this situation. Just with the good results, he's banging at the door in major graded stakes races at 3 different racetracks. So neck, and head. So that's a horse you can keep an eye on. This horse, Grand Sonata, trained by Todd Pletcher, is going to get IRAD aboard. It's a mixed bag for me. Second place in the UN last year, but 2-time greatest stakes winner. He's a pretty good gamer when it comes to the Grade 2 and the Grade 3 company. He usually finishes, in the money a lot of times, but the higher the stakes, the tougher the sledding. So, like the Sword Dancer wasn't any good, but won the Turf Cup, a Grade 2 event. The Fort Lauderdale Derby was a Grade 2 and almost won that one, ran fourth. And then Grade 2 lost by a head to Capture the Flag. So a competitor, but one I'm not going to be able to get to because there's just too many others. This one I'm kind of coming around on. Vote No is the number 6 horse. Winner of the Cape Henlopen, earned a huge speed figure, 104, largely for that sparkling opening or the nice sparkling run late with good early pace figures. So that's always good to have. That's going to be the third off the layoff for Kelsey Danner. Sammy Camacho, very, very good. One of the best turf riders that Monmouth has, and overall riders at Monmouth Park. So he's got a little veteran experience there, and he's winning at a 17% clip. You can see he's 25% on the turf. So that's kind of what led me to add him in as a value play. It's 6th in prime power, and with these other horses, he's going to have to be double-digit odds. So I'm going to be looking to include underneath. I'm going to be looking long underneath, not so much on top. Rebel Red, probably going to get a lot of play. Sherry DeVoe, Luis Saez, sired by Frankel, monster pedigree there. Won the Corleywood last out at Churchill Downs with just a hell of an impressive effort. And you can see the great bounce back off of getting the mess that was Louisville. I forgot who did what, but Declan Cannon got thrown off the mount and they clipped heels and he fell. So Rebel Red came out of that okay. Obviously, because he came back and banged out a win at Churchill at this distance in a 200K listed stakes race. So there was some good horses in that race. Verstappen and Highway Robber are pretty solid. Pretty good fourth in the Elkhorn. Red Smith ran third. I think maybe his problem was he got out a little bit too close to the lead and then tried to take over the race at first call. And then when he got to the stretch, he kind of fell off a little bit. Integration closed them out easily anyway, but they were right next to each other. Limited Liability and Rebel Red finished just basically nose to nose at the finish line. So that's kind of where I'm getting that feeling there. Lots of good races like that. Got a win on the inner turf where it's a little more tactical and a little tighter turns. So Rebel Red, Luis Saez aboard, can't go wrong there. So definitely good. Now, after that, let's go ahead and break off for a wheel spin. We need to give away one of these split the pot drawings, and we're going to do it right now. So remember the rules. We haven't done this a couple of weeks, but if you're a regular follower, you know how to do this. I'm going to spin the wheel 3 times. The very first name that comes up is the winner. You win a $20 bet that I pay for, and if we win, you get half the pot. That's how it goes. Now, the next 2 names that are drawn are the alternates, or AEs, just like in a horse race. If the winner scratches out, the first AE gets in. If neither one of those 2 contact me, the third AE gets in. And if nobody contacts me, the bet rolls over to another race sometime. So we're going to get right into the action here. DJ, spin that wheel. All right, congratulations to at Bull Bear Rider, and then it's option Straden 3665. So the longest name gets the first crack at the pot. So you do win a $20 bet on me. Like I said, if we win, you get half the pot. So to claim your prize, just email me at BILLYAH35 at yahoo.com. It'll be on the ticker going underneath. You can also hit me up on X, formerly Twitter, at Billy Ho Sports. So if you're on X, give me a follow. And now our first alternate is going to be Chris to Sarantos, I guess, 9606. And the second alternate is Armando Garcia. So congratulations, guys. You guys can reach out. The alternates can always reach out to me and let me know, hey, I'm interested in the split the pot. If the first guy doesn't contact me, let me know I'm in. So that's all very well and good. So let's continue on with the show, get back into the racing. Number 8 is starting over like we are in this video. Brittany Russell takes over for Mike Maker. Believe that was about this time last year, almost to the date. So that was after the United Nations ran last year in a dismal performance, 11th by 11 links. That might have been DFL. I don't really remember if it was a full field. Macho Camacho was aboard there. Just steadied early, but I watched the race and there's no excuses. I mean, the outside post, maybe, I don't know, just really never get engaged in the race. But then what happened was Brittany Russell got a hold of him, and then they gave him the rest of the year off and debuted in the Elkhorn mile and a half. Disaster there, too. Just a really, really slow pace, nothing to close into. Minus 22 opening quarter is really tough for a presser. You can see he was about 7th, but just fell further back as the race did not pick up the pace all that much. It went to a minus 8 the next out. So if you wanted to forgive that one and then look at the Cape Hepnorn or whatever it's called at Delaware, got a 103. That's very inflated speed ratings. And like I said, I don't feel they're as accurate as dirt speed figures, but they do give you some sort of idea. I always look at the early pace and the late pace, especially late pace in turf races, because a lot of closers win these races. So pretty good numbers for that race. Did give it up down the stretch, was right there at the head, but was beat by a vote no. So I'm going to pass on starting over. Now, this one I struggled with a little bit too. This is Major Dude. He's my dude. I like this horse, Todd Pletcher. Pletcher's been struggling. He's 9%. You can see right here. But overall on the year, he's 20%, which is probably a little bit subpar for him, to be honest with you. But 16% graded stakes, that's where he's really kind of not getting it done. And he's obviously only 14% in turf starts, which that's really not his major league thing anyway. But Major Dude is one of them. And Jose Ortiz is not going to take the trip out here. He's staying at Saratoga because he's got some major league mounts and he's on a roll at Saratoga. So why screw with the karma? And now we're going to get Johnny V, which I'm okay with. Johnny V, veteran rider, knows how to weave in and out of traffic and negotiate these tight turns. So Major Dude, 19 starts, 6-3-3. So he's got in the money 12 out of the 19 starts. Last 2 outings were good. I like how he handles inside. He likes racing inside. He likes the close quarters. So I think Johnny V, who did ride this horse to a victory way down here in the 80 KOC before the 4-star Dave, at least he's got somewhat familiarity. Whoops, excuse me. We don't need assistance, AI. So anyway, but you can see all these. I did the Pacific World or Pegasus World Cup Invitational. That is a huge grade 1 and just a mile and an eighth. So he got run off the course there. You can see plus 18, plus 14, speed favoring Gulfstream. That race was just not for him. I'm sure Pletcher probably regretted that immediately. Then went on to the Canadian turf the next out with a little bit less tougher competition and almost won. But Fort Washington is a really good horse. You can see Fort Washington went out in the italics there. That means he won the next race, and I don't remember what the stakes race was, but it was a graded stakes. So Brilliant Birdie, this was a really good one in the opening verse, close to third by 2 lengths versus Laginos and Brilliant Birdie, and then was chasing Donegal Momentum in the grade 3 poker and just couldn't get there. Just wasn't quite good enough. But Donegal Momentum had that race on lock, going wire to wire. So pretty impressive. And negotiating inside turns, post position 3 on the inner turf. So I like Major Dude for all those things. And that brings us to Get Smoking, your winner last year, your defending champion. This one's getting a little long in the tooth. He's now 8 years old, and usually when he hit 8, it's kind of starting getting to the swan song type stuff. But as you can see, let's see where we got. Okay, here's the debut, and they always debut him. You can see just the same exact MO as last year. 24 debut, a race before, ran in the Eclipse and led the whole way before getting out kicked. And then the same thing comes up again. The Eclipse led the whole way, and he actually finished better this time. I don't know if the competition was any worse or better, but getting the Fernando De La Cruz to ride, who rode him all these middle races and a couple victories, including this race last year. So the thing that I'm going to say is I'm going to play two different stats that I think are important. Really, really difficult to win the same race 2 years in a row. Really, really difficult to come back at 8 years old and still maintain that form. So I'm going to say Get Smoking is not going to get there this year. Now, the rest of them, really, really, I got to make fun of this one. Lord Eddard Stark. Just a lame name for a horse. Full disclosure, I'm probably one of 3 people in the world that didn't like Game of Thrones. That's who he's named after, Sean Bean's character in the House of Stark. But he's outclassed in this race, just like Stark was, I suppose. Maybe Lord Eddard Stark was. I just remember the first few episodes. He was like I don't know, kind of a chump, but he was a respected chump. Like he was just put up with a lot of shit. But anyway, I digress. You're out. Edward Stark, Hush of Storm, I'm not going to get into. Brad Cox hasn't chosen a rider for this race, so I'm not really sure what the whole deal is there. He must have liked the effort in the Kingston, but it was a state bred for 200K, missed by a nose. Pretty solid. I mean, it's a decent horse, but I just don't think with the outside post, no match. I'm not going there. So let's go ahead and break it off here. We'll sum it up and we'll get on out of here. And so what we're working with here is it's going to be tough to do a win bet here. I think redistricting, I'm going to call the key horse. I'm not going to look to do any kind of win bet on that horse because I think maybe the odds are going to go too low with Pratt and Brown being so dominant and just a good inside post draw, good results, and the horse is number 1 in prime power. So I'm going to look for value elsewhere. So I'm going to pair that with the 2 Tawny Port. Then I'm going to use the number 4 limited liability. I think looks pretty good. Frankie Dettori board, I think could finish in the money. Number 6, Vote No is another one I think has got a good chance to hit the board as well. It's got a really good closing kick and an up and comer, back-to-back wins. So those 3, the 2 value / long shot plays are the number 2 Tawny Port and the number 6 Vote No. Those 2, maybe a place show vote. It's going to depend on how big the odds get on what I do as far as win, place, and show. Maybe just like if Tawny Port was like 25 to 1, I'd bet 2 to win and then maybe 5 to place, 5 to show, something like that. Just I'll put up like some sample bets just kind of as we're closing out. But the 2, 4, 6, 7, and 9 are going to be underneath. The 3 redistricting just looks the best. Hopefully I can narrow things down a little bit better. We are going to do a little bit differently this week. We're going to do the pick 4 this week, which ends with the Haskell, and that's guaranteed $500,000. So once again, congrats to the Bull Bear. Make sure you contact me via my email or the X account ASAP. The 2 alternate entries can feel free to do so as well, and in case the winner doesn't reach out. So I appreciate everybody watching. Lots more to come, so stick around. We'll see.